Hello everyone. So we are going to start the part 3 of size reduction. So here we are going to cover the left out instrumentation which are or the equipment which are used in the process of size reduction in the pharmaceutical operation. So hammer mill. So what is a hammer mill? So, by definition the hammer mill it is an impact mill. The hammer mill it is an impact mill using a high speed rotor. The hammer mill have a high speed rotor which can rotate up to 10,000 revolution per minute, that is 10,000 rpm, to this rotor the swinging hammers are mixed. A number of the swinging hammers are mixed. So basis of work, the basis of hammer mill is the principle of impact. The principle of impact it is employed in the hammer mill. So construction, the hammer mill it consists of a steel casing, right? It consists of a steel casing in which there is a central shaft. There is a central shaft, or you can say there is a central rod, right? So this in which a central shaft is enclosed to a number of the swinging hammers are attached to this central shaft or central rod. Different numbers of the hanging hammers are attached, right? Now on the lower part of the casing a screen of desired size is fitted. This screen they actually helps in separating the size reduced or grinded particles. So in the lower part of the screen there is a in the lower part of the machine there is a desired casing, or there is a desired screen. So this screen they help in the size separation. So in this mill there are also a hooper. A hooper is there for feeding the material to be grinded, and a product outlet from where you can take out your product. So basically a hammer mill looks like this. So this is a screen, right? So once after the division of particle or after the process of the size reduction, this powder they are going to come to this chamber via this screen. So this is nothing but there is a sieve here. So the product is collected here. So these are the hammer. This is the central axis, or you can say the central shaft, and this is the hooper from which the feed it is introduced in the hammer mill. So these are the hanging hammers, right? So how it looks like. Now mechanism of action. So basically the milling the hammers, this is the first action. So swinging out radially undergoes brittle fracture. Now when these hammers they are going to swing out radially means in a form of the radius, they may undergo brittle fractures because of the angular velocity of the hammer. Moreover, the continuous particle size reduction it takes place here, as their particles are reduced by hitting the hammer here, and once the particle has broken down it will come through the screen. It get collected here in this particular chamber, and from where the product can be obtained. So advantage, these hammer mill they are simple to install and operate, and the operation are generally continuous. Moreover, they are rapid in action. They are very fast, and many different types of the material can be grounded with them, with the hammer mill. Moreover, there is no chance of contamination due to the abrasion of the material from the mill, because no surface of the mill move against each other. That is the foremost advantage of the hammer mill. Actually there is no chance of contamination due to the abrasion of the material from the mill, because only the hammer it is moving, not the casing. The casing it is stationary, only the hammer it is moving. The hanging hammer it is moving by virtue of the shaft which is placed centrally. Now the particle of the material to be reduced can be easily controlled by changing the speed of the rotor. Suppose you want to get smaller size particle, you can increase the speed of the rotor. You can change the type of the hammer. Moreover, you can change the shape and size of the screen. Moreover, they are easy to clean. These hammer mill, they are very easy to clean and may be operated as a closed system to reduce the dust and explosion hazard. So it is very much useful in pharmaceutical operation for grinding the potent drug. But there are disadvantages. A hammer mill must be operated with internal or external classification to produce ultra fine particles. I repeat, a hammer mill must be operated with internal or external classification. We need to classify it earlier because upon changing the hammer, the size of the product it get changes, right? So first of all, you need to have an internal or external specification. Moreover, it cannot be used, this hammer mill cannot be used for abrasive substances or material. Now so in pharmaceutical industry, they are used for grinding the dry material like bulk drug, wet filter cakes, sometimes for ointment preparation and sometimes slurries. Moreover, it can be used for granulation also, for tablet production and close control of the particle size of the powder. So it can be also used in the process of granulation as well as in the production of powders. The next one, it is the roller mill. So simply there are two rollers. You can see here there are two rollers. They are moving in the same direction. There is a hooper. Through this hooper, the substance which you want to grind or you want to reduce the size, it is placed in the hooper. By the hooper, it comes in between this moving roller, right? And this feed, it is put in between the roller by virtue of external pressure. So principle, the material is crushed or compressed by application of stress. The stress is applied by the rotator wheels, and these are known as the rotator wheels. They are known as the rollers. So working, the rollers, they are allowed to rotate usually in the same direction, right? The material is fed into the hooper. This is the feeding part. The material which we want to grind, it is fed here through the gap between the roller by applying high pressure, and the material then get crushed. Uses, the roller mill, it is used for crushing and cracking of seeds before extraction of the fixed oil. For example, fixed oil, for example, your mustard seed, right? And it is also used to crush the soft tissue to help the penetration of the solvent during the extraction process, which we have already discussed in our first part. The next type of machine, it is also known as the fluid energy machine or fluid energy mill. It is also sometimes known as the jet mill, sometimes as a micro ionizer, and sometimes as ultra fine grinders. It has numerous names. So the principle of the fluid energy mill is simple. It operates on the principle of impact as well as accretion, right? So the milling, it takes place because of the high velocity collision between the suspended particle. Basically what actually happened here, the particles, they are allowed to collide with one another. The particles which you want to grind, they are allowed to collide or strike with one another by virtue of some external force. This external force, it is supplied by the moving high velocity air, and these particles, as they are suspended, they collide with one another and they get grinded. So the construction, it consists of an elliptical pipe. I will show you now, which has a height of about 2 meters and a diameter may be ranging from 20 to 200 millimeter. So this is the mill. So here you can find there is a venturi feeder. This is the venturi feeder, and here also you have a feed. So the feed, it will come here by virtue of gravity, it will come and reach this position. From here, the air at a high pressure, it will be introduced in this chamber. This air, via this opening, they will force this substance to move in this direction. Once this substance, they are moving, during their movement they will collide with one another, right? After getting this certain particular point, the fine particles, those particles which get already reduced in size or already they are grinded, they will come and they will get settled here, and the air, they will escape from the here, and the remaining particles which are still need to be grinded, by virtue of their weight, they will again come in this direction. So here continuously feed is giving, and here the compressed air is supplied. So this is the construction. So the mill may be made up of either your soft stainless steel, or sometimes it is made up of tough ceramics. Right? Now the grinding nozzles. This is the grinding nozzle. This is the grinding nozzle. They are placed at a tangential position. This is the tangential position to this ellipse, right? And opposed to the initial flow path of the powder. It is opposed to the initial flow path of the powder, right? Now the compressed air is used here. Compressed air is used with a pressure of about 600 kilopascal to 1 megapascal. Very high pressure is used. Very high air pressure is used in this process. So the venturi feeder is there. This is the venturi feeder. It is found in the path of the airflow, and an outlet which the classifier is fitted to allow the escape of the air. So this is the classifier, or you can say this is the screen. An outlet within classifier is fitted to allow the escape of the air. This air is coming, it will leave from this particle, from this area, but it will leave off the finely divided particle at this region, while the simple air will go out. Right? So again, if we see the working, the powder, it is introduced through the venturi feeder, right? The air entering through the grinding nozzle, right? It will transport the powder in the ellipse, or you can say elliptical loop, right? Or circular track. Now in the turbulent stream of air, the suspended particle, they will now collide with one another, right? Thus the impact and attrition forces, they operate in this size reduction, and the resultant is that the smaller particle will be entrapped by the air. The particles which after collision get broken into smaller pieces, they will be entrapped by the air and are carried to the outlet. This is the outlet, right? This is the outlet. They will be carried and they will be removed by the cyclone or the filters. So the coarser particles, they undergo recirculation. The bigger particle, they undergo recirculation in the chamber on account of their weight. As their weight is more, they will get settled here, right? This recirculated particle collide again with the new incoming feedstock from the venturi, right? Now the powder remains in the mill until the size is reduced sufficiently. So later it leaves via the sieve, right? So hence the fluid energy mill, it produces a particle with a narrow size distribution. Means the size distribution is narrow. They will produce uniform particle size. Now uses. It is used to reduce the particle size of most of the drugs such as antibiotics and vitamins. Advantages. This mill, it don't have any moving part. As you have seen, only the air is moving. So no heat is produced in this type of milling. Moreover, it is rapid, it is efficient method for reducing the particle or the powder up to 30 millimeter or sometimes lesser than that. No contamination is possible here from the machine. No machinery part will get broken down during the process of grinding, as because there is no impact or no contact of the moving part here. But there are disadvantages. This mill, it is not suitable for milling of soft material, tacky or fibrous material. Moreover, the equipment, it is very expensive. The next type, it is known as the edge runner mill. So the principle of edge runner mill is simple. It is the size reduction in edge runner mill. It takes place due to the heavy, or you can say the heavy weight of the stones. It helps in the size reduction. Actually there are two stones roll which are placed here. So construction, if we see the construction, it consists of the two heavy rollers. These rollers, they are made up of generally stones, and they may weigh up to several tons. The roller, it moves on the bed which is made up of granite or stone. I will show you how it moves. Now each roller, there are two rollers, right? So each of the rollers which are made up of the stones, right, they have a central shaft. In their center they are having a central shaft, and this shaft, it revolves on its axis Thus, once the shaft will revolve, the stone or the roller will also revolve. The rollers are mounted on the horizontal shaft and they move around the bed. So this is the construction. You can see here, this is one roller, this is another roller. There is a central axis, right? This is a crankshaft which is attached to this position. This roller, they start revolving, and this is the bed. Any material you want to grind, you have to put in this bed. This roller will move, and simply the size reduction will take place. So working, the material to be grounded, any material which you want to ground, it needs to be placed on the bed, as I shown in the figure. So this is the bed with the help of a scraper in such a way that it comes in the path of the stone wheel. Right, you will place here, it will come here automatically. As the wheel moves, the material will come in the lower part of the bed automatically, right? These stones, they revolve on its axis, and at the same time it travels around the shallow stone bed, right? The next thing is that the material is ground for a definite period of time, suppose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, just like that, right? Now the powder is collected after the process, and it passed through a sieve to get the powder of the required size. So uses, the edge runner mill, it is used for grinding tough material to fine powder. It is still used for plant-based product, like making powders from plant different part, like your bark, seed, etc. While more sophisticated mills are used for chemical and drugs. So this machine, it is generally not used for the chemical and drugs. Advantages of edge runner mill, it does not require the attention during the operation. Once you start it, it will keep going, the process, it will go automatically. You don't need to monitor each and every time. But there are few disadvantages. The edge runner mill, it occupies more space than other type of the mills which are used in the pharmaceutical operation. Moreover, contamination of the product with the roller material is possible here. The roller material, it is generally the stone, so sometimes the part of the stone or the roller may get abraded, or due to the abrasion, it comes with the product. Moreover, the milling process, it is time consuming in this mill. Moreover, it is not used for sticky material, and the energy consumption is quite high in this method, because this roller, the weight of each roller is very high. The next one, it is the end runner mill. So here the size reduction is done by crushing due to presence of heavy weight steel pestle. We will have a heavy weight steel pestle. It will help in the process of size reduction. So construction. So let's say construction. It is considered as a mechanical mortar pestle. The end runner mill, it is also known as a mechanical mortar pestle, where you need need to use your hand, right? It consists of a steel mortar which is fixed to a plate, right? The construction of the mortar is connected to a horizontal shaft bearing a pulley, so the plate of the mortar can be rotated at the high speed. I will show you. Now the pestle here, it's a dumbbell shaped pestle we have, and the bottom of the pestle is flat. So this is a dumbbell shaped pestle. This is a dumbbell shape. This is one dome, this is another dome. You can visualize, this is just like a dumbbell, right? This is the pestle, this is the scraper here, this is the steel mortar. You see, this is the steel mortar here. It is connected to a motor. It is right. This is a flange plate which is found here below it, and this is the bed, right? So construction of the pestle is done in such a way that it can be raised from the mortar. Anytime you can raise this pestle, anytime you can bring it off, right? For cleaning and sometimes for emptying, working. So how it works? The material which need to be grounded, it is placed in the mortar here, right? The scraper, it puts the material in the path of the pestle. Now the scraper, it will help to put the material in the, this is the path, right, of the pestle. The motor, it revolves at the high speed here, and the pastel, it is placed in the motor. This motor, it will also revolve at a very high speed because it is connected to a motor. It is also going to get revolved, right? So the revolving motor, it causes the pastel to revolve also, and thus the material is collected and passed through the sieve to get the powder of the desired size. So here I have shown you, this is the end runner one. This is the end runner which we have discussed just now. So this is the pastel, this is the motor. This motor, it starts revolving once it is connected to the motor, right? And this is the edge runner. Here we have two rolling balls, or you can say rolling wheel. This may be either made up of steel or it can be also made up of the stone, right? So uses of the end runner mill, it is suitable for fine grinding. The end runner mill, it is suitable for fine grinding, but nowadays this mill is replaced by more efficient and sophisticated milling equipment has come. So this mill has now been replaced from the pharmaceutical operation, but there are some disadvantages, such like that the end runner mill, it is not suitable for drugs which are in broken or slightly broken condition. It is not suitable. The end runner mill, they are not suitable for grinding those type of drugs which are slightly broken or which are unbroken. So basically here, before putting the material, we used to break it in a proper way, because if we use a drug which is unbroken, it cannot break in this mill because it will remain as it is. Once the motor, it starts revolving, the drug will escape in this side particularly, it will remain as it is. And if it is slightly broken also, then also the same problem will come. So preferentially it is broken to a greater degree. Preferentially the drug, it is broken to a greater degree before putting in the end runner mill. So this is the end of the size reduction unit. So thank you everyone for your patience hearing. If you like the video, just press the like icon. You can share the video with your classmates, and for further notification from this channel, you can subscribe my channel. Thank you once again.